Hey guys, I'm going to be going over your reading lesson today. So I know up here it's talking about, where is it? It's Wednesday. So I think we're a day ahead with reading too. I don't know how that happened, but we are. So it's fine. We'll be a day ahead. I believe we went over these. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. We're a day ahead. It's fine. So this is an informative essay. And we kind of started touching on writing essays while we were still in school, but we really didn't get too far into it. So today what I want you to do is we're going to deconstruct this prompt. Where is it? Here it is. Here's your prompt. It's after the stories. Let's deconstruct that prompt first. It says both passages describe how inventions have changed over time. Write to explain, so we're explaining how computers and cell phones have changed our lives for the better. So you're just going to underline what you're going to explain. And I guess this is kind of relevant because we're using our computers and our cell phones a lot right now. It says use evidence from the text to support your answer. So of course you're going to use evidence from the text. I usually don't have you guys do any of that. I think this can be done, but I think it's going to take more than just tomorrow. I think it's going to take more than just Thursday and Friday to do this. So don't stress yourself out if you don't finish it. In fact, you can keep these pages at home for you because I think we're going to go over it more next week too. I think. Stand by on more information for that. So after you deconstructed the prompt, now we know that we're going to be explaining how computers and cell phones have changed our lives for the better. So while we read the passages, we're going to find that evidence of where it's telling us that computers and cell phones are changing our lives for the better. And I think that's especially relevant right now. Because we're using them so much. So let's go ahead. These are actually pretty short. Okay. Telephones now and then. So this is going to be talking about telephones back in the day when they first started making them, and them now. So let's go ahead and read together. Actually, I would like for you to pause the video and for you to read this part here. And then unpause it when you're finished, because we're going to read it, then I'll read it to you. Okay. So, it says, this is paragraph 1. We know when we read an article, we should annotate it. Here's our photo. Trying my best here. And then you probably should have boxed in the title. 2, I can't quite scroll up when I'm in the drawing mode, so I'll do that later. Telephones help people speak to one another when they are apart. For more than 100 years, nearly every telephone was a landline. A landline telephone is one that needs to be connected by a wire to a network of other telephones. Because of the wires, people could not take those telephones with them when they left the home or office. So these are all going to be about landlines. This entire section right here, the main idea is about landlines. Now, landlines were cell phones, or they're not cell phones. They were phones that we had way back when. Not that far back though. I'm sure a few people still have them. I know I don't have a landline in my house, but my mom does. So you don't see them quite as often. You might have one, you might not. But there's an issue with them. We couldn't take them with us. So here's the problem. People could not take those telephones with them when they left their home or office. The good thing about them, and I'll use green for when we find good things about telephones and computers, is that telephones help people speak to another person when they're far apart. So go ahead and make your annotations because I'm going to probably erase it in just a second and go on to the next one. So go ahead and pause the video. Alright, so now we're going to go down to this last part of it here. I'm going to have you guys read this part on your own for a few minutes, so go ahead and read, and then I'll pick back up. Just pick back up when you're finished. This is paragraph 2. What if you had to make a call while you were away from home? You had to find a payphone. Payphones are landlines found in public places. Many payphones are on the street. You can make a call from inside a glass or metal space called a phone booth. Once you were inside the booth, you put coins in a slot to make into a slot in the phone to make a call. So this one, I want you guys to think, what was this paragraph all about? I'm going to have you do that on your own. Just box in the word or words that describe what this paragraph's talking to you about. Like this paragraph is talking about landlines. What is this one talking about? And then we're just going to read the last 2 paragraphs here. This is paragraph 3 and 4. Go ahead and pause and pick back up when you're finished. Okay, so paragraph 3, telephones have seen a lot of progress. Today, many people carry cell phones. Cell phones do not need to be connected with wires. They can be used almost anywhere and can fit in an adult's hand. So here's one way that cell phones have changed our lives for better. They can be used almost anywhere. And with that being said, if we can be used almost anywhere, that means it can be used in emergency situations. It can be used when things like this happen, where we're stuck at home or we're stuck somewhere, or maybe even if our car breaks down, we can call someone to help. And it's also very easy to hold them. So now we know it's easy to fit in our hands. Paragraph 4. Many cell phones sold today are smartphones. A smartphone is a cell phone that has lots of computer-style features. For example, people using smartphones to check email and go on the internet. And all that can be done using something small enough to carry in a pocket. So I want you to think, what's the advantage of phones here? What makes our lives a lot easier about phones in this paragraph? I'm going to leave that to you. Okay, and this is a fun article. It's how Grandma did her homework. So you guys are obviously in a new age and you're going through something nobody's really ever been through in school before. But there was a way things were done back in the day. So there's our title, here's our photo. And we see somebody, it looks like in an old library. And they had to pull out these cards that would, and they would tell you where you would find this information. So instead of a computer, you had this big box thing back here, and you had to file through all the things that were in the boxes. I've never used them, but you did. This was something people had to do back in the day to find information. So instead of a computer, they had like a big giant library, kind of. So let's go ahead and read, and it'll explain a little bit better than I did. So you should label our paragraphs. So paragraph 1, I'm actually going to have you guys read paragraph 1 and 2, and then, so just pause, read, and then come back. My grandma picks me up after school. My grandma picks me up after school. She takes care of me while my parents are at work. Grandma is always interested in my homework. Today, I had to use the computer to do my homework. First, I went to the internet to find out about how bears live in the winter. Then I typed up a report. Grandma said, "Such progress." I asked her what she'd meant. She told me about how computers have changed everything. Computers have even changed the way kids do homework, she said. Grandma told me that when she was a girl, people did not have computers at home. So we're still talking about, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to erase all that, but it's okay. We're still talking about how computers and cell phones changed our lives for the better. So it just says that right here, computers have changed even the way kids do their homework. So there's going to be something we can add into our essay. And let's go on to paragraph 3. I'm going to have you guys read this part on your own and then come back when you're finished. All right, well, how did you look up information? I asked Grandma. She told me that she went to the library and read books about the information she needed to learn. If she needed help with homework, she asked her mother. Her mother was home every day. When my parents come home, I will be excited to tell them what Grandma said. Things sure have changed since Grandma was a girl. So we can assume now, because she said her parents were home every day, we know that's not the case anymore. So maybe technology, what we can add here is that technology has helped even parents go work that extra job and leave their children to do the homework on their own. I know maybe not 3rd grade, but in 7th grade, high school kids, they usually can do their homework on their own at that point. She said that she had to go to the library, so we don't have to go to the library anymore to go find information. Now we have it kind of just at the palm of our hands. We can use our cell phones, we can use our computers, anything like that. So those are all going to be things that can be, and if you find more, great. I'm not saying this is it. This is just what I picked out. And we're going to go ahead and stop there for right now, because this is going to be a little bit of a process. I want you guys to not have to rush through it. And that's just going to be it for today's lesson. If you guys need anything, please let me know. I am here to help. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.